Oh no. What was that? No. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's Godzilla! Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Tommy B, and this is the Bailey Broadcast. So today we're going to be doing a little review of Godzilla vs. Kong. I needed a little time to watch it again. I was a little kind of on the fence the first time I watched it, and ultimately we're going to talk about my first impressions and my overall opinion on it. I'm going to talk a little bit about the good and the bad, and then we're going to get lost in imagination. So yeah, overall, after watching it for the second time, it's hard because I'm not a huge, full disclosure, I'm not a big monster movie guy. I thought Kong Skull Island was great. Not a big fan of Godzilla King of the Monsters, but when the trailers first came out for this movie, I was super excited. I thought, the overall fight scenes just looked really incredible. The CGI looked great. Couldn't get a whole lot from the trailers on what the actual story was going to be about, other than these two Goliaths duking it out. But yeah, when we finally turned it on and I watched it a couple times now, I thought it was very entertaining. The CGI is incredible. I can fully admit to that. The CGI and the special effects looked great, especially some of those close-ups, when the little girl reaches out and, with her finger touches Kong's finger. I mean, in the rain, that was very, just cinematically beautiful. And I really thought that was a very touching moment. But again, yeah, the CGI was great. The fight scenes were awesome. And after talking with a few coworkers, you know who you are, about this movie and who they thought won the fight, my first opinion was, well, going into the movie, that Kong was going to win. How could he lose to Godzilla? And after, I think they fought about 3 times, so we'll count it up to 3 rounds. And really, I must admit, I think Godzilla won that fight. Obviously, by the 3rd round, Godzilla, has Kong pinned to the ground with his foot on his chest, and Kong just looked completely defeated. And it was hard, but all in all, it was great entertainment. It was exactly what I wanted to see. But don't get me wrong, this movie is not going to be winning any awards. Okay, it didn't have the best storyline in my opinion. It was a little just over the top, obviously. But what it comes down to me is, was it captivating enough? And I think there was parts of the story that I really enjoyed, and then some things that were a little lackluster for me. So all in all, with the good, again, the CGI was great, the action, the fight scenes were great. Watching them team up, Kong and Godzilla team up to take down Mega Godzilla, was a great fight scene as well. And also, all the locations that, were either not real, but some that were real, like Hong Kong, and then Florida, even though I don't know what, year it's supposed to be, but to see, some of these, well-known places kind of be featured was really cool. And so the bad, though, I think we got to get right to it, were the human aspect of this movie. And don't get me wrong, I love these actors. I think, Alexander Skarsgård is a really great actor who's really kind of coming up again. I mean, we really haven't seen him do a whole lot since Tarzan, which actually I, really enjoyed. And then Rebecca Hall, I think she's great in everything that she does. And then with Millie Bobby Brown, I really like her in Stranger Things, and as far as this movie goes, and I think it's Brian Tyrese Henry, I forget his name, but he's gonna be coming up in the Eternals movie, playing Phastos soon. He was the guy that the movie started off with, with his own podcast and what have you. And I just felt like the human aspects of this movie were just not necessary, to be honest with you. I mean, I think the side Kong with Alexander Skarsgård and Rebecca Hall, and then the little girl who was super cute, had more of a significance in the movie than Team Godzilla with Millie Bobby Brown and the kid from Deadpool 2, Julian, I think his name is. I forget his last name. And then the future Phastos of the Eternals, Brian Tyrese Henry, I think his name is. I just didn't feel like they played that significant a role, and it was kind of disappointing. I don't feel like they did a bad job. I just don't think that the writers gave them much to work with. You could have cut out their entire, parts of the movie, and we would have still got to the same conclusion. I mean, the only thing that they really did was uncover that the company that created Mechagodzilla was really trying to, make something that would protect the world, and to really kind of help Godzilla and Kong defeat Mechagodzilla, he poured some, alcohol onto the computer, board, and the whole system went, haywire, and that was enough to take down Mechagodzilla's, internal circuits, which, again, I just kind of felt like it would have been a more compelling, a more dramatic fight had, that not happened, and Godzilla vs. Kong had just worked better as a team to take down Mechagodzilla. I mean, they did, work fairly well together, but I just felt like that whole part with, those three actors, it just felt like a little forced almost. The other team, for Team Kong, I felt had a little bit more of a significance. Watching them try to get to Hollow Earth was really cool, and just Hollow Earth in general was really great to see, especially when Kong is once again taking down those monsters, and it kind of gave us a great show in this unreal world within the core. But they just seem to have more to do with the story. With that said, it still wasn't obviously the main reason we watched this movie, right? I mean, it's kind of what you expect in a way. However, as someone who wants a good story, I want every piece of the movie to have significance, to have a meaning, to have a purpose. And I just felt like that was really the best they could do telling this kind of movie. And hopefully we'll get to see maybe a sequel. I don't know what their plans are, but all in all, it was just really entertaining. But to see these two iconic figures in cinema, with King Kong coming out in like the early 30s, I think it was, and then Godzilla later on, was truly great to see, on the screen together. Whether it was them fighting first on top of the aircraft carriers, which again was super entertaining. I just don't know. I mean, I know it's not real, but to see Kong jump from one ship to another, one boat to another, I just thought, okay, it was a little hard to get behind. But again, the fight scenes, were pretty epic. And when Kong got his axe from his home in the Hollow Earth and was able to, go back to our, part of the planet, which was created through that blast made by Godzilla, which let him go all the way back to, the top Earth. It was pretty cool. I just still had some questions about that. Was he the king, and then he just lost to Godzilla because he was rusty facing monsters like Godzilla? Because it just didn't look like how you thought it was going to go, which I guess was part of the story, part of the intrigue. But all in all, it was something that I'll probably watch, maybe again, in another couple months. It's not one of those movies that I see myself watching all the time. And I definitely thought it will be one of those that we'll look back and say, the trailer was great, the movie was okay, because the storyline was, so-so, but the action scenes were incredible. And I think for a lot of people, that's all they wanted to see, which I get is totally fine. I recommend everyone to see it at least once, just because how far we've come with our CGI. It truly makes this a beautiful thing to see, whether it's at home on your HBO Max or in the theaters, which I highly recommend seeing it at. They do a great job of making these, monsters look real. So with that said, it's time to get lost in imagination. All right, so this whole segment, to me, in this movie, the main message that was lost in imagination was about teamwork. You know, we see our heroes, Rebecca Halls and the Alexander Skarsgårds, having some history together, but not really working together during, you know, the present time. But they're forced to work together to try to get to the greater good of what their goals were, which was to get to Hollow Earth, for Alexander Skarsgård, and also for Rebecca Hall to find a proper home for Kong, because the containment, you know, that they had Kong in was just not going to last very long. So you got that part of the teamwork playing into the movie, and then also the part of the other humans with Millie Bobby Brown needing the help of Brian Terry Henry's character and her friend Julian, who had the car. They couldn't have gotten to where they were without one another. So, and then finally, Kong and Godzilla, they had to work together, put aside their differences, and take down the Mega Godzilla. And just like the little girl said, Kong, with the gorilla sign language, which was not gorilla sign language right there, by the way, that was just me moving my hands. They needed to, you know, realize they are not enemies. They have, you know, a similar background. They have a home that they're both from, and the real enemy is this newly monster. You know, before this creation of the robotic company, Godzilla was an ally. And so, you know, this was, you know, a real testimony to how we can all work together if we put aside our differences and work for the greater good. And I think that's the greatest thing about teamwork. You know, whether you've been on sports teams or, you know, work, restaurant, or what have you, to me, the overall success is, you know, dependent upon how well you work with others, and how well you communicate, and how you understand what each other's goals are. So I thought, you know, for a movie that was just full of entertainment and, you know, action, the message behind it was actually pretty good. I am a firm believer in teamwork, and I think, you know, whether you already participate in teamwork outside of watching movies, or struggle with working with others, I think, you know, there's a great message behind Godzilla vs. Kong in that way. So thank you guys so much for watching my video today. I hope you enjoyed this review of Godzilla vs. Kong and getting lost in imagination. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that like and subscribe button down below, and post your comments down below too. I want to know what you thought about this movie. Was it everything you thought it was going to be, or more? We'll see you next time on the Bailey Broadcast. Take care.